Welcome back to my kitchen. If you are new here, my name is Christine. Today we are going to be making 3 deliciously yummy fall desserts. Let's get started. So the 3 recipes we are making today. First, an easy fall cake. It's super simple. It looks super delicious. I haven't tried this one. Then we are going to do another very easy recipe. It is a pecan apple dip. So delicious. And then lastly, we are going to do a pumpkin snickerdoodle cookie, which I saw on Acre Homestead, and it looks so good. Let's get started. The first thing we need is a can of pumpkin. We needed 1 container of pumpkin yogurt. All I could find were these dips where it's like half sprinkles, half yogurt. So I am going to add both of these yogurts, skip the sprinkles, and call it a day. We need 3 eggs. A cup of water. And then lastly, we just need a box of spice cake mix. I'm just going to get this mixed up. Oh, does that ever smell good? And wait till you see what we do after this comes out of the oven. We're just going to pour this into a 9 by 13 and bake it at 350 for about 30 to 35 minutes. I lined my pan with parchment paper, but you could also butter your pan if you would rather do that. Get that all in there. This is so easy. Give it a little shake. Okay, I'm just going to pop this in the oven and I will show you what we are going to do in just a little bit. Wait till you see what we are going to do next and also how easy it is. Here is the final step. We take this cream cheese frosting, popped it into the microwave for about 25 seconds, and then look at this. Oh, doesn't this just... Doesn't this just look amazing? I wish you could smell it. Call me crazy, but first I just want a little more frosting. We have to cover up those spots. It looks naked. Okay, that's better. Then I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of cinnamon. And that's it, my friends. So simple, so delicious. We'll be back in a few minutes to give it a taste test. For the next recipe, the pecan apple dip, we first need a half a container of Cool Whip, a block of cream cheese softened to room temperature, and a cup of powdered sugar. We are just going to mix this until it is all combined and smooth. Now we just will put the mixture in the bottom of a pie pan. I'm just going to stick this into the refrigerator while we move on to the next step. We are starting out with 3 tablespoons of butter, a half cup brown sugar, a 1/3 cup of Karo syrup, 3/4 of a cup of pecans. I chopped mine up. You could leave them whole, whatever size you like. One egg and a pinch of salt. I just bring this up to a simmer. While I do have specific measurements for everything in this recipe, I don't really have a specific cooking time. I bring this up to a simmer and then I basically just simmer it for a few minutes and then turn off the heat. Nothing too scientific. It smells so good. And here you can see it bubbling. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. Okay, it has been a few minutes. I'm going to cut the heat. I'm just going to let this sit for a little bit so it can cool down before we pour it over the cream cheese mixture. So my mixture is cooled off enough, and I'm just going to pour it right into the middle of our cream cheese, Cool Whip, powdered sugar mixture. This smells so good. So what you do is you serve this, you can serve it with graham crackers or apple slices, and people just take and dip into it. We had so much fun with this. I made this for company last week and it was a huge hit. So this one I am going to gift to my friend, the one who gifted me all that beef and who brought me the bay leaves over last week or whenever that was. If you watch my videos, you know what I'm talking about. And if not, that's okay. But I'm going to gift this to my friend. And I'm also going to bring with me some Honeycrisp apples so that she can slice them up in case she doesn't have any apples on hand. But I just thought this would be a really fun treat to gift, and I know how good it is, so I want to share it with somebody. So we are done with that. We've got 2 down. Let's move on to the pumpkin snickerdoodles. The first thing we need to do for the snickerdoodle recipe, and don't come for me for this pan, I can't get this stuff out. It is what it is. But the first thing we need to do is make some brown butter. If you've never done a recipe with brown butter before, oh my gosh, I didn't know what I was missing until I made some recipes with brown butter. So this just takes some time, and you really want to babysit it because you don't want it to obviously burn. And once it turns brown, it goes to the burn phase super quickly. So you need to keep an eye on it. So this will take about 10 or 15 minutes. What we need to do is, after we make the brown butter, I'm going to transfer it to another dish, and it needs to cool to room temperature before we can move on. While we are waiting on the brown butter, we will move on to this next interesting step, and we are to measure out 2/3 cup of pumpkin onto a plate. And I'm just going to smooth it out. We are supposed to take paper towel. Oh, wow. That is a lot of liquid. Yeah, we're supposed to soak up all the liquid. I am going to do this a couple more times. It's supposed to become the consistency of Play-Doh. Yeah. Yep, that looks good to me. Now we are to measure out 1/3 of a cup from this. You can see how much it shrunk down. We started out with 2/3 of a cup on the plate, and just by getting all that liquid out. Okay, there we have it. Let's go back to the butter. It gets hard to see, so let's see if I can show you. And it has a nice nutty smell, and I can see it. I don't know if you can see it here when I'm stirring it, but it is nice and brown. So we are going to turn the heat off. Okay, I just put the brown butter in the refrigerator so we can get it to come down to temperature a little bit quicker, and we will be back shortly. Okay, we are back. The butter is nice and cool. It smells lovely. Now we are going to add in our 1/3 cup of pumpkin that we de-liquefied. This is a 1/2 cup of sugar and a 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Two egg yolks. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Next, we need 1 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour. 1.5 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, teaspoon baking powder, and a teaspoon of cream of tartar, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I am just going to pop this in the refrigerator so the dough can chill for a little bit before we form our snickerdoodle balls and roll them in cinnamon sugar. We just need 1/3 cup of sugar and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. So I have my chilled dough here. I'm just going to form them into balls and then roll them through our cinnamon sugar. We are just going to bake these at 350 for about 10 minutes. So that's 7, and then we have 8 more over here to go in the oven. So you should get a total of about 15 cookies out of this recipe, just for reference. Let's give everything a quick taste test. I'm going to try the cake first. Ooh. Mmm. Wow. I am not a huge dessert person, but let me just say, this is really, really good. That cake, the frosting, it's really, people don't like the word moist, but it is a really moist cake. It is delicious. The flavors are just screaming fall, comfort, deliciousness. Really good. Let's try the cookie. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. I might even like the cookies better. It's a close, they're both a 10 out of 10. Wow. The brown butter is really what makes this snickerdoodle. I really do like snickerdoodles. Making desserts just isn't something that I generally gravitate towards. But wow, this snickerdoodle is just next level. It's perfect. Incredible. I cooked them for 10 minutes. I don't like my cookies overdone. These are perfect. I can honestly say that all 3 of these desserts are fall winners. They are excellent choices. The first 2, really, really easy to make. The snickerdoodles I think are easy too. It's just the extra step of having to brown the butter first. But other than that, I think it's a pretty simple recipe as well. All 3 were really fun to make. I really enjoyed it. I just want to say thanks for joining me in the kitchen today. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, I can pop another video right here for you to check out between now and my next upload. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up. I upload every other day and I can't wait to see you next time.